Hey, welcome back to the show. My name is Chad. This is the Comic Multiverse. And today we're going to talk a little bit about something different. Back in April, a new mobile entertainment platform launched for iOS and Android, and it's called Storiaverse. And it's kind of like a comic, motion comic slash story thing. And I have somebody here to talk about it and let us tell us more about it. So let me bring him in, find out about him and Storyverse. Hey, Todd, how's it going?
Amazing, amazing. Thanks for having me.
Before we get talking about Storyverse, tell me a little bit about yourself. Do you have a history as a comic reader or anything like that?
Yeah, we actually, myself and the two founders, we actually come from the content creator space the last about decade. So that's how we kind of came to Storyverse. I mean, historically, yes, fan of the genre, going back to my days of Ninja Turtle IP and Transformers and Thundercats. And that was kind of my era of, growing up with animation and comics and cartoons. But,
Same.
we're dating ourselves very specifically, but how we came to this world is really coming from the creator kind of perspective, right? So that's not just comics or specifically animation, but it's also writers, animators, voiceover actors, etc. Because our experience is how do we help ecosystems of creators find audiences, monetize their work, grow their fan base, etc. So we've been doing that for quite some time. And that's kind of what brought us here today.
So tell me a little bit more about Storyverse. The, how does it? I know it's app based, but how does it work?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I think, again, in your introduction, really what we're trying to be is a new platform for immersive storytelling, right? So as I mentioned, we come to this from a place of collaborating two different worlds. One, which is the prose writers, and that really has kind of evolved into really any genre of writing, right? We work with novelists, short story writers, just general content creators who have ideas that want to, create their own kind of produce stories, movie studios, comic book publishers, etc. And then you have this entire global ecosystem of animators of all different genres. So, nowadays people think of animation very specifically into these kind of 2D, there's anime, but there's many different styles of animation. And there's freelance animators, there's animators that work at studios that are excited to kind of produce their own stuff, that are working on their own projects on the side. So really what we're doing is tapping into these kind of ecosystems and bringing those two sides together to create really what never existed before, which is a seamless blend of full animation and prose. So as an evolution of comic book, graphic novel, etc., this is not necessarily a motion comic. This is actually full animation, dialogue, music, full animation, and then mixing it seamlessly with prose writing instead of comic book format. This gives us a little bit of depth to the writing and also brings in writers that never thought of themselves as comic book writers, but have amazing stories to tell. So we're bringing these guys together into a new immersive format, which has been really well received because it feels very similar to what people are using on TikTok, on Instagram Reels, on YouTube Shorts, very vertical driven swiping. It's giving them that same user experience that doesn't really exist on other platforms. But instead of user-generated content, they're getting the kind of fun experience of actually enjoying these really great stories. So so far, people have been really excited about it.
And I see that you've partnered with HarperCollins.
Yes. Yes. So they actually were really kind of excited about what we were up to pre-launch. So they kind of, again, saw the vision of taking some of their content and really bringing it to the digital world, right? So, from the book publisher world, a lot of their, the evolution is how do they market their content? They have a lot of this great long form content, but very difficult to advertise that on digital, right? Outside of the cover art or maybe some illustrations. And we really give them a visual representation. So we have two of their novels that we're working on that are in production in the YA space. And again, the opportunity here to really give them a visual interpretation, working on a few of those chapters. And hopefully people are really engaged in the content and go to read the long form novel or clamor for more episodes on our platform, which we can work with them and develop and hopefully have a longer standing partnership. But what's been very exciting is since we launched in April, those partnerships like HarperCollins have kind of expanded, as I mentioned, across genre with comic book publishers and movie studios, individual writers, and all kinds of exciting partners, really talented people that, again, once they've had a chance to see the format, really see this as an avenue for them to produce their projects. So again, we hope to continue to, collaborate with a lot of different kind of creators.
And how do you kind of go back selecting, whose projects you're going to, produce, I guess is the word.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, unlike a Wattpad or a Webtoons, not everyone is able to publish on the platform. We do have a submission process. So we get hundreds of submissions from writers as well as animators. And all those are kind of thoughtfully reviewed. A lot of it, again, is looking for really unique stories. Again, we're open to every genre. So we're not just specific to a genre, but a lot of the things that we look for as a team, and we have multiple people that, read every submission, is really finding a unique voice, really finding a unique perspective, a unique story that they're trying to tell, and really have a cross-section of the different genres. We don't want to be too heavy in any genre. So a lot of our stories have come through submission. A lot of our stories have been us proactively reaching out to top writers in genre. For example, we work with a lot of top writers in mystery thriller, that genre of short story writers that have won awards, etc. So we started working with some of them, and then they support us and have introduced us. Same thing with introductions to comic book writers. And a lot of it has been word of mouth. They say, hey, I really love this. You should talk to this writer or this comic book publisher or so on and so forth. And through that, we've kind of expanded this network of creators. And then similar on the animation side, we explore endlessly through social media, through ArtStation, through recommendation, and reach out to animators to build a giant network of talent that we bring together. And then once we have a story that we've worked on, some of it is even originals that we're writing specifically for our platform, we then match them with an animator. And the exciting piece there is that we match them based on style, based on the excitement of the animator who has read the story. And the animator gets some creative freedom there. So they create based on the story that they're reading. They get to have some creative freedom to create the art, the storyboard, the character design, and the animation, which a lot of times the animators don't get in their day-to-day jobs. They work for a client, they work for a studio, and they're working on someone else's project. So it's been a really exciting kind of project for them to have a lot of that creative freedom, because we appreciate their talent and we want them to bring these together in a really unique way. So that's why when you go on the app, everything looks completely different, because every story is a different combination of a different writer and a different animator, creating kind of a unique piece of art. So that's what's kind of exciting. At scale, everything is going to look totally different, and people have enjoyed that diversity.
Now, are stories put up in chapters, or are they put up as whole chunks?
Yeah, it's actually both. So we have a combination of individual short stories. So sometimes a 10-minute read watch will be a full story. It's a short 10-minute read. And sometimes we have episodes. We treat them more as episodes, similar to more of a streaming platform. So we'll have limited series, and we have longer form content that we are, chopping up into different episodic releases. But we still release them one at a time. So a lot of stories don't go full story arc. They end with a cliffhanger, and another episode is in production and is coming. So, ideally we'll be able to, create that same kind of cadence where the most popular stories, we're able to continue building out those universes and those characters for their fans.
I think one of the first ones that I watched on the app was it was kind of like Red Riding Hood, but it took place on Mars, which was kind of cool. Was there any stories that have been favorites of yours?
Yeah, that's definitely been one of our most popular. Red has been very popular. It's really gangbusters on social media. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. I mean, just how well this stuff has been received just on social media. I think 55 million views on Red alone. But Transmission is also probably one of our most popular, one of my favorites. I mean, there's quite a few. Gods of One to Zeros, Sorcerer. There's a bunch of stories. Again, that's what's nice, is that they're all kind of different genre. So it's, it's kind of like a stream. Sometimes you're just in the mood for a certain kind of story. Some are different lengths, a little more, short and bingeable. But we have quite a bit in production. A lot of exciting projects are still to come. So again, I think in the next few months, there's gonna be some really exciting stories coming, adaptations of things, and different things we're working on that I think will, your audiences will be really excited about.
Now, is there like a subscribing component to it, or is it all accessible, for free? Is there is there a business plan, I guess? I don't know. What was that?
No, it's totally free. They're right now.
Okay.
In the future, there likely will be a subscription model and some other opportunities, merchandising, etc. But when we launched this, we really wanted to make it available and accessible to everyone. So our goal is for everyone, because it is a new medium. We are building out a catalog. So right now, I think we have just shy of 40 stories. We launch new stories every week. We just launched one today. So we just want everyone to come enjoy it. So come check it out, read some stories. Some people have read all of our stories already and are excited for the next one every week. So our goal here was just to get as many people on to enjoy these new stories and content as much as possible. And then eventually there will be some monetization on the content so that we can help kind of support the creators, again, with merchandising and different things that can help support the creative communities. But right now it's totally free. So there's no obligation. We just really want people to come and enjoy the content as we put it out.
And how are you, but are you like, you pay for the content that you purchase from the creators?
Yeah,
right?
No, exactly. Yeah. So we're paying. Yeah. So we license all the content. We pay for all the animation. All the animation is created by credited animators and amazing talent. So our goal is investing in the catalog and in the content in support of building this ecosystem. Our vision is to really be a place where talented people can incubate their ideas, right? Whether it's existing IP that they really want to bring to a broader audience, if it's older IP that they want to kind of reinvigorate in a new, fresh way, or supporting bigger properties for, studios, comic book publishers, etc. We really are hoping to be that place where people can come and, really kind of dig into some exciting stories in kind of a fresh new medium. So in that support, we're investing in that right now in building out that catalog.
Now, are you looking to, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but it seems to be not a lot of superhero stories, and I know that a lot of people do like that stuff, but there's also the more indie stuff. Is that something that you would like to kind of include to your catalog?
Oh yeah, we have a lot coming. Yeah, so we have plenty of superhero characters coming, as well as, like I said, characters that people know and already love. So a lot of stuff coming. Again, when we work at such scale, over 100 stories in production, a lot of the stuff that we launched with was the first stuff in, first stuff out. So it's not necessarily indicative of what the broader catalog will be. It's just the stuff that was in production first. So yes, we have a lot of genre specific stuff, superhero stuff that is coming, sci-fi, a lot of fantasy, romantasy, all kinds of exciting stuff that we're working on that will be coming out in just the next few months. We'll be, as I said, launching new stories every week. So certainly if your fans are looking for, that kind of superhero content, these kind of worlds and characters, we definitely will have plenty for them to enjoy. I think some really good stuff and new characters that we're developing that I think people will really like.
Are there any creators that you would personally like to work with and help bring, let's say, comic book creators that you would like to kind of bring to the platform so they can have another place for their stuff?
Like particularly, as I said, we're having conversations with quite a few of the largest comic book publishers, and even in that, like I said, I don't want to break the news before we do the PR, but we have some very big comic book writers that are writing for us. We have people that are doing original character stuff, and we're adapting some of their popular comic book stuff, and also having conversations with publishers. So yes, there's a very exciting thing coming, but open invitation. Yes. If you happen to know any comic book writers or anybody in your audience is a comic book writer and is interested in writing, I encourage you to email me, because again, these are the conversations that we have every single day, and we're very excited to continually looking to adapt that content. You know, even with existing IP, again, of course, originals are always welcome, but even with comic book writers that have existing stories, one of the exciting projects, again, is using that as the reference content, right? So whether we are just telling the same story arc, but re-envisioning it in full animation, we have the ability to work with the writer to adapt it from comic book format to our format, but also with the illustration, working with them collaboratively to use that as the reference art, and build that into full animation, with total respect to the originality and the creativity of the original reference art. So yeah, we're excited to continue those conversations with any comic book artists and writers that are interested in working with us.
Now, our plan is to keep it strictly on a mobile format, or are there plans to maybe, somehow adapt it so people could watch it? I would assume that they could also probably watch it on their tablets too, if they are iOS or
Yeah, no,
Android.
yeah, we built it. Yeah, we built it mobile first, obviously vertical in mind. You know, the uniqueness and scalability of vertical now on social is obviously certainly interesting to us. So that again, landscape opportunities like TV, smart TVs, but we are web is something obviously that we'll have available in the future. But right now, again, so transitioning it from social down to mobile and then web based will probably be in the near future, and then again, we'll continue to expand formats from there, you know, as we continue to grow. We have a lot of exciting enhancements and changes to the platform itself in the coming months as well. You know, one of the exciting things about this, like you said, we launched in April, so only just a few months in, we are taking all the feedback from our fans and people that are really kind of enjoying the content to just make it the best possible user experience, you know, giving them what they want. And we're in this exciting phase of the business where we can make those tweaks. So we have a lot of exciting things coming in the coming months. And at Comic-Con, we'll be talking about some of those things. I'll be there at Comic-Con.
San Diego or New York?
San Diego. Yeah. So so we're excited. We're excited about the future ahead. Yeah.
So about, and I know it can differ depending on the project and stuff like that, but on average, how long does it take to get a story from the creators to the app?
It takes about 12 weeks, not a terribly long time for the amount of work that goes into it from an animation perspective. So it's a fairly quick turnaround from the time of us approving a story to getting all the animation done. Our target is about 12 weeks of collaboration and production. You know, usually we'll start with the reference material, the story, and then once we nail that down, we start the collaboration with the animator. Working through those various animations, as you've seen, and then hopefully your audience will see. The animation clips are broken out throughout the story, so it goes back and forth from full animation to text. So there's about 8 to 10 of those animations throughout, and the lengths can vary. So again, there's a lot of freedom in there for the animator to tell that narrative. So it's not a very specific time allotment. They really are just trying to be creative and telling as much of the story as they can in a really fun way. So again, it's not an exact science. A lot of it can just vary based on the story, the length of the story, the different styles of animation, and how many characters there are. But we try to turn these things fairly quickly because our goal is to get them out to the audience as fast as possible. You know, as I'm sure any of your creatives know, there's a long production window to create a comic book, to publish it, editors, and there's usually and forget about an adaptation into something long form. That is a very long journey. So our goal here, as I mentioned in the idea of incubation, is how do we take a reference material or something that we want to get out to the public and move it through the pipeline in a really creative and exciting way, and then be able to get it to the audience as quick as possible and let them enjoy it, let them share it, give feedback, etc. So we can build these stories, and if there's an excitement there, build on top of that, right? Like you were saying, with episodes or chapters, and building out bigger worlds, but not being held up in the production of it. Our goal is, again, to really let audiences enjoy these as quick as we can without sacrificing the quality. And then again, at scale, when you have the ability to create these ecosystems, we're not just doing one at a time. We have dozens of them being produced at one time. So there's going to be always new content going in and new content coming out.
Where would you like to see, all this be, say, 5 years down the road?
We are the TikTok of storytelling. I want. Yeah, I guess that's the best way. I want to be a place where everyone can find stories that they enjoy of all genres, and when they're there, they binge it the way that many people binge social, but with coming out with that feeling of accomplishment when you watch a great movie, when you read a great book, when you read a great comic book, when you watch a great episode of something and you feel the reward of completing it, like, man, that was enjoyable. We want that feeling when people come in. They still get the same, they could scroll, they can enjoy it. It's not there's not a lot of barrier to entry to get in and enjoy it, but we want them to come away with the positive feeling that they get from enjoying really great content. And our goal 5 years from now is to be a massive scaled version of that, where we are a place where all creators can come and tell these great stories and have audiences around the world enjoying it. That's the goal.
So if I were to strand you on a desert island and give you a phone that would only let you watch 5 Storiaverse as many times as you wanted, what would they be?
The 5 that people have to watch.
Oh no, that you would like to watch over and over.
Transmission is my favorite. I'm gonna look at. I'm gonna go right now. I'm gonna look at it right now. I'm gonna tell you which ones are the ones I've read multiple times. End of the West. Let's see here. I'm gonna tell you what my reading catalog is. So I'm gonna say it's Transmission, End of the West, Red. If I could curse, Bumfuck Nowhere. Pardon the asterisk. It's a title. I Hope You're Happy Now. And how many is that? 4. And I said Gods of Ones and Zeros. I'm gonna stick with Gods of Ones and Zeros. Man, Blood Moon to Curse is good. They're all good. They're all amazing. But yeah, they're certainly. Go check those out. And hopefully you'll find many more that you'd love.
Now, is there anything about the app, about the company, or anything that you wanted to mention that maybe we didn't cover?
No, I mean, again, I think it'll be, for those that haven't checked it out, I encourage you to check it out. I think most people that go and see it find it to be really unique and enjoyable. And I think most people can see the vision at scale, what this can be as an alternative to kind of mindlessly scrolling other platforms to really enjoy great stories. And our goal is to bring the best possible stories to them. So from a consumer perspective, I hope they check it out. I hope they find their favorite stories or their favorite 5 stories and they share it with their friends. I think for me, as dealing with all the talent side of things, I really want to be a place where storytellers of, like you said, the comic book writers, the publishers, the individual writer who has a great idea, I really hope that we have a chance to chat with them and to find the right story to collaborate on and to make that story really successful for them. That is my main goal, is to take ideas that have not been discovered yet, or have been, had people like but never got made, or whatever it is, and give them the tools. If you're a writer and you need animators, we have animators. If you're an animator and you need writers, we have writers. If you could do both, we could help you produce and distribute it. So that's my goal. Is I hope all the creators out there listening, you check it out. You're really excited about what we're up to, and I would love to have that conversation.
And where can people find you? Well, in the App Store is obviously Storiaverse, but where can they find you social media wise?
Yep, at Storiaverse on all platforms. Yeah, so again, check us out there. Check our website out, Storiaverse.com. Download it at Storiaverse on all platforms. And I look forward to, again, hearing from any of you guys that enjoy it and or are interested in working with us.
Well, thank you for taking the time to, talk to us today. And maybe, whenever you guys have something, the next set of news that you want to move out or get out, then we'd love to have you back, hear how things are going, and see how things are progressing and how how it's just going in general, I guess.
I would love that. No, it's absolutely my pleasure. And yeah, absolutely. I'd love to come back and catch you up on what we're up to over the next few months.
And hopefully next time I will be able to rig my phone. I was hoping to be able to do it on my computer so I could share the screen of the stuff on my phone, but it kind of didn't work out that way this time.
No, it's okay. You're leaving it in suspense. They're gonna have to go download it right now. Check it out. It's free. Go enjoy it. He did it on purpose, so you have to go check it out now. We've built all the suspense. Go enjoy it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, and we'll be in touch.
You got it. Thanks so much.